Let's explore container resource limits. We'll focus on setting central processing unit, also known as CPU, and memory limits to prevent resource hogging. This is essential for ensuring stable and efficient containerized applications. Why are resource limits so important? Without limits, containers can consume all available CPU and memory resources. This can lead to system instability and negatively affect other applications running on the same infrastructure. Setting limits ensures fair resource allocation and prevents any single container from monopolizing resources. Let's see how to set central processing unit, also known as CPU limits. Here's the basic syntax for limiting CPU usage using the docker run command. Docker run CPUS equals 1.5 jinx. This command restricts the container to using 1.5 CPUs. Additionally, we can use CPU shares to define the relative weight of a container's access to CPU resources. Docker run CPU shares equals 512 jinx. This sets the CPU shares to 512 relative to other containers. Now let's look at memory limits. We can set memory limits using the following syntax. Docker run m512m jinx. This limits the memory usage to 512 megabytes. Alternatively, use docker run memory equals 1 jinx, setting the limit to 1 gigabyte. We can also set memory limits along with swap limits. Docker run m512m memory swap equals 1 jinx. This allows the container to use up to 512 megabytes of memory and 1 gigabyte of swap space. Now let's combine CPU and memory limits for a more comprehensive resource management strategy. To set both CPU and memory limits, use the following command. Docker run CPUS equals 2 and 1 jinx. This command limits the container to 2 CPUs and 1 gigabyte of memory. Here's a real-world example. Docker run CPUS equals 0.5, memory equals 256M, name web app jinx. This restricts the container named web app to 0.5 CPUs and 256 megabytes of memory. Let's examine how to set resource limits using Docker Compose. Within your Docker Compose.yaml file, under the service definition, you can specify resource limits. Here is an example. Under Services, then Web, specify the image, and then under Deploy, then Resources, and then Limits, specify CPU and memory limits. CPUS 2.0 and memory 512M. Let's explore how to monitor container resources. To monitor resource usage, use the command docker stats. This command provides real-time CPU, memory, and network usage statistics for all running containers. To monitor a specific container, use the command docker stats container underscore name, replacing container underscore name with the actual name or ID of the container. For detailed container information, use the command docker inspect container underscore name. This will output a JSON payload with information about container configuration and resource usage. Let's summarize the best practices for container resource limits. Always set limits for production containers to ensure resource availability and system stability. Regularly monitor resource usage and adjust limits based on observed usage patterns. This adaptive approach helps in maintaining optimal performance and preventing resource contention. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.